Now, as much as the whole I hate you temper tantrum phase was, and hell, we even get to experience Miri as bad girl Miri going to jail, bringing home a boyfriend Papa Kazuki disapproves of, that is all well and good, and we're going to discuss all that at length, but I have to admit, the after the credits moment, it kind of got to me. So there is a quick moment, it's literally 9 seconds, we get to see our boy, he's working in his little bar cafe, and then he's like, Karen, and the face, I'm not sure exactly what they're going for here, because this isn't the first time I've been confused about who is who. If we rewind back to the first episode, I was fully convinced the boy in the picture was Kazuki. No, and it took me until the next episode to realize, oh no, the person they killed was actually Miri's father. For me, and I've seen this a lot online, I've seen 2 different opinions of what happened in the explosion flashback. Was that his pregnant girl, because it kind of looked like her? Or was that like his parents or something like that? I don't know. I went to the wiki and checked, and as it stands, there is no person listed in terms of a name, just that she's apparently alive and this was his pregnant ex-wife. So was the person at the end of this episode who pops up and he's like, Karen seems very shocked that she came, is that supposed to represent his girl? And if so, that could very much shake up the formula a lot, and if not, then I'm interested to see what this character's gonna do. This show is not afraid to have characters look very similar to one another, and when I put these 2 side by side, it kinda seems like it, but I could be an idiot, it's possible. Let me know what you're thinking down below, because as it stands, I do these videos far earlier than any discussions pop up, so I get like 5 Reddit comments that are currently up by the time I start recording my thoughts, so I don't know what people are feeling about that, but definitely let me know what you're thinking, because that definitely has me interested to see where they're going to go with it. Now, before we jump any further, do gotta mention we got that full uncut live reaction available on my Patreon, so if you want to see my full thoughts to today's episode, head on over there and consider supporting. Always a fun watch when we got Buddy Daddies Fridays. But this episode was a blast though. Like, yeah, my mind's a little racing about what the cliffhanger means, but in terms of an overall enjoyment factor, absolutely 10 out of 10. We get to see the I hate you phase, and the little brat, little temper tantrums that can pop up, it doesn't even need to be anything severe. It can set kids off in a moment's notice. And I love how the concept of, am I too lenient on our girl here, is literally brought up, and he doesn't realize that he's supposed to discipline in those moments. I'm not saying she needs the belt or anything, but, you know, you gotta teach her, like, hey, you can't talk to your parents like that. We need to ground you if you're gonna throw temper tantrums, right? You know, you just gotta set her up for success, so when she's a teenager, when she's a young adult, she doesn't feel like the world owes her everything, right? Even though, yes, they de-escalate it in a very humorous and sweet way, you do gotta love the concept of the self-realization of, oh, my boy's like, are we too lenient? And then as soon as she throws a temper tantrum or acts like she doesn't love him anymore, he just bends over backwards. He's like, listen, whatever you want, my girl, I'll give you. You want a pony, I'll go take out a second mortgage. But it's great, right? Because you have Papa Ray, who just in the middle of these important conversations, he's playing his PlayStation. I love the fact that he's playing his PlayStation and he's playing Mario Kart. Just the entire crossover is hilarious. And I love how you know damn well that for Kazuki, all his life that he's known Ray, I guarantee you he's been of the mindset, you're wasting your time playing games, it's all for nothing, there's more productive things you could do. And literally our girl thinks Papa Ray is the coolest mofo around because he's so good at Mario Kart. And just his smugness, maybe it didn't last too long because by the end of the episode, she seems to favor Kazuki more again, but like in the middle of when they're at the zoo and they're hiding behind the tree, you see his smugness because she's literally just praising him and like not even acknowledging Kazuki, and I absolutely love it. But I think it's fun, right? Because you don't see a lot of parent anime in terms of having a child this young, and the fact that they treat her as actually a kid this young, whether it's her energy going from location to location feeling like she just pounded back a ton of sugar and you just can't keep up with her, or even just the concept of when you look at the boy at the end of the episode, right? The whole drama starts because someone said that Miri punched another kid. He asks her, well, why did you do it? And she's like, I didn't do it. The whole way, like, it's almost like peanut brain syndrome. Just, they can latch onto one thing and go to the next thing without a second thought and just completely forgetting the other thing ever happened. So all the drama that is supposedly there could very well have been there. Yes, we learned that she accidentally hit him because she was trying to stop him from being mean. Most likely it was probably like a little push on the cheek or something like that. But she doesn't even acknowledge it because she's already moved on. And by the time the episode ends, they're like, no, we've always been friends. And it's just like, that's how kids are. They might hate each other or act like they do, or they might say, I hate you, Papa, we don't acknowledge you as my family anymore, And then by the end of the episode, it's like it never happened. That's literally how kids are, and it's just a bundle of chaos, and the way Buddy Daddies is going about exploring this is honestly really realistic. Yes, do parents really go into spy gear and have like this probably $1,000 of equipment to monitor their kid at a zoo? No, but when your job literally has that, I think any parents who are that overprotective would probably go that extra length. And we can all think back to our own lives, and there's probably been at least one kid at school who had that overprotective parent, and you just looked at a distance and you're like, what the hell's wrong with them, right? So I like the fact that they're exploring those kind of fears, the anxiety that goes with it. But the fact that you can have so much fun with this production in terms of having her just so grumpy, even coming down in the morning, just completely just acting like he doesn't exist, or he or she wants Papa Ray to drive her to school, or in this case on the bicycle, right? It's just an absolute blast to follow. Something that actually caught my eye, which maybe some people might not bring up about this episode, is actually the zoo itself. So I've seen a fair few zoos in anime before. It's not really the most common or unique setting. It's been there enough that I can point out a good handful of shows that have used them. But what really made this one pop is that they showed like a good handful of animals. Like usually you'll see a penguin or you'll see a bear, right? They'll pick one or two animals that they'll show in terms of it, and then it'll just be general wide shots. This episode, like, they just kept focusing in, and you're like, wow, they're actually at a zoo that feels like it's full of life. They're going to the lions, or then they're seeing the monkeys, right? And even though, yes, most of the animals didn't move, so it helped with the animation consistency, I was honestly impressed. It kind of made it feel like an actual living and breathing environment, and you could understand why the kids were so interested in everything that was happening. And of course, they even tied it together with a little action where you had this, like, runaway convict who has a fake gun, and honestly, our girl just was not letting him do anything wrong. Like, you have to have the scanner sound, so basically when you're at a grocery store and you scan your item. I love how she recognizes what is good based on those little sounds, because she doesn't comprehend the full picture of how you buy things, but she recognizes, oh, you didn't have that sound, so therefore you didn't pay for it. And I mean, the dude was an idiot, right? So he had a fake gun, wasn't even a real gun. But should he get caught, going after a kid and pointing a gun at a kid is going to make you far more in terms of jail time than if you would have just went back to that stall and like pointed the gun at the adult human. Because yes, you're gonna get in trouble either way, but not only on a moral level, like going after a kid makes you such a scumbag. Thinking about the long term, you're already wanted, my boy. Do you really want to add on to that? Like, just go for the adult. Like, that will get you less punishment. But dude was an idiot, and the fact that he got absolutely annihilated by two dudes in the goofiest costumes. Yes, our boys were inside it, but there's no recovering from that ego break, because that just looks goofy as hell, man. Overall, great episode, great progression with the family, showing the lows of it, and just the quote-unquote joys of parenthood, and the I hate you moment was absolutely glorious. We got that cliffhanger after the credits. A lot of great stuff coming up for sure, but thoughts and feelings yourself down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload on the channel, and of course, as I mentioned, we got that full live reaction available on my Patreon. So, until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.